Hi, it's Leah here to tell you about Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. He's a pain specialist located in southern Palm Beach County. So if you or somebody that you know is suffering in pain, Dr. Pannozzo is the one you guys need to call. And make that call today because living in pain is no way to go through life. Dr. Pannozzo has been in practice now for more than 49 years. He's treated more than 73,000 patients for pain. He's an expert when it comes to diagnosing the pain, and he has had huge turnarounds. In fact, people with living with scoliosis, he has had nearly a 100% turnaround. Lumbar pain as well. If you've got lower back pain, if you're suffering with migraines or flat feet pain, maybe pain in your elbows, your neck, your shoulders, Dr. Pannozzo can help you. And the greatest thing is he can help you without drugs, without surgery, and without having to go through weeks and months of rehabilitation. Give him a call today, set up an appointment. It's 561-381-5800. Tune into his show Sundays, 11 to noon. And now, here's this week's edition of the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. I want to say we got a really crowded group here today. We've got the famous Gio and the infamous Jesse and the leader of the pack, Freddy S.
I'm not the leader of the
No,
pack.
you're the leader of the pack until I introduce otherwise.
Oh.
We got that beautiful girl running our boards.
Who's that?
And needless to say, you've got the most handsomest person in the studio right now. That's me. And we've got Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. Doc, how you doing, buddy?
Yeah, I'm just an add-on. Yeah.
No, you are the guy. I mean, without you, there's no show.
Who made him the most handsome person in the studio?
He did.
No, Jess said I'm cute. And this is a young woman that says I'm cute. Okay? She's call you cute.
She's also
a liar.
She
You,
also
Can you give the call-in numbers?
Yes, folks, I'm going to give the call-in numbers today because we're going to have a really great show today. It's 800-889-0267. He's also the producer and director. I just want to let you know that it's 800-889-0267. Doc, every time, I know you get mad that I keep repeating a lot of stuff, but we have new listeners every single day and new viewers in New York. So I got to tell you this. You graduated where? Chiropractic school? No. You graduated, go ahead.
Ohio State School of Medicine.
The big O.
Yeah, the big O. Yeah.
And you did your...
The Ohio State.
And then you did your interning where?
Philadelphia General.
Okay. So what I'm trying to let everybody know when we talk about all the things that Dr. Pannozzo does,
Well, this is a legitimate program.
here is a professional doctor who has actually
And,
studied this field.
I have residency training at Ohio State University Hospitals.
Good.
And when I took that physical medicine training, it was probably the best one in the country.
Wow.
It was a leading edge of electrodiagnostic testing, which I'm an electromyographer also.
What got you into doing this field?
Well, I like the idea of the pain problems, and back in the early '60s, there wasn't much being done with it.
Right.
And so I figured there was a new field, and I got interested in it.
You pioneered this.
I pioneered it. It's a physics base of what we do, and we went full time into it, and we're 70-some thousand patients later.
I think it's up to 79 from the last time I looked at the records. I have to change your lead-in for that reason. And what is the main thing that you tell everybody? I know the answer. But they cannot leave your office until they're 100%.
Well,
better.
we're able to diagnose the source of the pain,
That's
where it's coming from. Every pain has a source, and it's all based on the anatomy. And if you don't understand that, you can't treat this. So we know where it's from, and we treat it directly, and take that pain out the same day you're in there. And that's people would say that's impossible. No, it's not. We actually do this work.
Well, you know what's funny, Doc, what you're saying? The source of pain. For years, people that suffer from migraines, before Botox became the big thing.
Botox is nothing.
You would get a shot that if you saw the aurora and the eyes started blinking and the spots before your eyes, they would grab an EpiPen and shoot themselves in the thigh, and the pain would go away. And
Not really.
I mean, they still have like little, but
No
it wouldn't go
painkiller will take the pain away.
forever.
It's always there. No, it's
Right.
always there.
Because pain's in your brain.
It's just decreased.
Right.
But you don't want that. You want it to be gone. And that's what we do for you. It's gone. It does not come back.
So here's a question, which is which is unbelievable.
Somebody's out there saying doctor is lying. No,
No, he's not.
Tell
We
the
have,
truth.
we have
This is the
patients
way it
right here.
works. Yeah,
We got three
well,
patients in
we
the
got
room.
three patients
Hey,
right
Jess,
here.
you have any pain anywhere?
Her knee.
A knee? Oh,
Oh, we can
knee.
take care of that in a second.
We'll get, are you doing anything after the show? Going to Tampa. We can get rid of that knee pain, Doc, in what? One shot?
She used to be a swimmer.
We don't know. We don't know where it's from. So
I was a swimmer in high school.
we have to diagnose the source of it. As usual, the source is everything. Remember, the source is everything. MRIs do not tell you the source.
What you're saying is true because
Sorry about that.
you are the freaking producer here and you make mistakes.
Well, somebody sent me a procedure on the knee. I was gonna share it with you, and I didn't know I had my phone up.
Okay, you want to share it with us now since we brought me in? Go ahead.
They use a shot. Now, Doc, when the ACL, when they say you have a torn ACL, they're not talking about it tearing in half, because you said you can't tear the ACL. Doesn't make
Can't
no
even
sense.
get to it. It's in the middle of the knee.
Okay, well,
There's
they
no
are
way
saying
you can get to the ACL. It's in the middle of the knee. It's
They are
protected
saying-
by the kneecap in front. You can't get to it. It's impossible. So all that surgery they're doing, I think, is bunk.
Well,
Hey,
they-
you know
they-
what? I'm paid to have an opinion, and I have it.
well, there's two spots. When you have an ACL and they go and they take an ACL from your leg or something, now you have to heal from that, and you have to heal from the insertion.
Well, they're making a hole in the femur, and they put the new tendon through that, and they tie it up. So you don't have to do all that. You never get to it.
Well,
It's just
wait till you hear
impossible.
this.
In fact,
news.
you don't even need an ACL.
Well, wait till you hear this. news.
Really?
No.
I didn't know that.
They're saying that the ACL tears off the bone inside the knee.
Who
Okay.
says that?
This is somebody who just sent me a film. Hold on.
Okay.
And they have a new thing where they put a sponge kind of element, a medical thing that is injected with blood of the patient into the area, and it becomes a giant ball with fibers. And in 6 months, the ACL is reattached, and because it's using blood as the nucleus, it dissipates, and the ACL then is repaired.
It makes me sick because you
I mean,
don't really
I
need
have
that.
I have it right here.
Okay. Well, who wrote that?
Orthopedic surgeon.
It's called Tech Insider, and it was sent to me by somebody who apparently must listen to the show.
Tech Insider.
Yes.
Never heard
So,
that.
all I'm saying, Doc, is that somebody must be listening.
Well, we know they're listening, but if they're really concerned, whoever said
See,
that,
the whole knee inside is protected by a ligament structure outside.
right?
And the pain fibers in that ligament structure, which is right under the skin, you can touch it if you know how to palpate it. It only goes in a millimeter and a half. That's all. So it does not go inside the knee. So how do you even know you have a torn
Separation.
ACL or whatever
MRI.
it is
MRI.
when you can't feel it?
MRI, Doc.
I mean, basically, you can't have any sensation inside the knee.
I knew he was going to come back.
It's
to
all
that.
on the outside. So anatomically, you can't even feel it. So how do they diagnose that? They're diagnosing a pain on the outside of the knee, and they're implying that it's from the inside. It's totally intellectually dishonest.
So any of you orthopedic surgeons out there that want to challenge Dr. Pannozzo,
They can't challenge that.
you are willing to come on any one of our shows and challenge him, okay? Because you give your opinion.
They're not going to challenge
Okay.
on the open. They're going to challenge per patient. That's what they do. And they'll say, I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about. But there it is. It's anatomically correct. There is no way you can get to it. How do you even know it's hurting when you can't feel anything? How do you know that?
Well, you're supposed to be in a lot of pain when it.
But you're not, because you have no pain sensation inside the knee. So how do you get that?
It's in your head. I understand.
No,
Doc.
it's on
guy
the
is screaming
outside.
like a
It's on
banjo.
Oh, it's
outside.
on the out. Listen close.
Yes.
Outside of the knee. Outside. Right under the skin.
So like for instance, so if you go to your family doctor and he tells you, and he said, no,
Then
let
you
me
say
send
my knee hurts. He'll
Right.
say, "Oh, you got to see the orthopedic
Okay,
surgeon."
so now you see, so I got a great idea, Freddie.
No, I can see that already.
All right.
I'm afraid
Go
to
ahead,
ask.
what is it?
What is
I
it? tonight?
want an orthopedic surgeon to come on any one of our shows and tell me what Dr. Pannozzo said you disagree with.
There's no way they're going to do that because they can't prove it that
Okay.
there is anything going wrong on the inside.
Wouldn't that be a great idea to see what they would say? if they would operate on an ACL?
They,
and why?
they would never come on.
You don't think so?
No.
Nah.
Okay.
They won't come on because the bottom line here is that everybody says that Dr. Pannozzo is wrong.
Wrong. So the best thing they can do for themselves is just ignore me completely.
Well, 79,000 people can't be wrong, right?
Well, it should be more than 79,000. It should be 279,000.
Well, you know,
No.
thanks.
Wait a minute.
It should be 379,000.
No, we can't do
No,
that. I
can't
mean,
be.
he can't handle that.
479,000.
When he becomes a reality star, then what we're going to do is we're going to open up this huge place.
The 70-some thousand is an actual number.
Yeah.
I understand that.
It is a true number.
But do you know how many people hurt themselves every day?
Oh,
Every day.
But I
79,000.
can't see all of them.
Doc, what would you do if 79,000 people walk through the door?
I would go home.
You know what's funny about? He would go up and say,
Right.
"Hey, see you tomorrow." Harry, you got a migraine? I can knock that out right now. Hey, Bob, you got an ankle? I can't do that right now. Come back tomorrow. No, it's like the gyms. All these gyms that open, and I said to the gym guy, "What happens if he said if every member came into the gym, we'd have to close it down. Someone comes in just one day. People always join a gym after the holidays, and they never come back. Well, guess what? You would take care of people now if there was. You would take care of the one that was hurting the most, like a child who had scoliosis.
Well, whoever made an appointment with.
Right.
But there's only so much time during the day.
Yeah. I mean, you know,
At
it's.
my age, I can't work too much. It's just,
All I do is I see you walking around listening to music, opera, and you're happy. He's always happy. He's walking around happy. I think what gives you the most happiness is when you really cure.
Well,
That's
listen,
why
when you-
That's why you do this.
when you go to work, and that's for anybody who has a job or a profession, you just leave your problems outside that door. When you walk in that door, you are got to be happy, and you got to take care of who is ever there, and that's why they're there.
Well, I
You
got
take care of them. You can't have your own problems when you're working. No way can you do that.
today, Doc. I'm gonna have some fun today.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna give you the new gifts.
About time we're having some fun.
This is a play. It's called "Gifts to Give Your Loved Ones." Okay.
Uh-oh.
Now, Tommy Copper just came out with socks, compression socks for shin splints, and muscle fatigue, and what's the other one? And Achilles tendonitis.
I know I had one in the office with that.
Oh, are you kidding me?
And I took care of the feet, and he threw his copper things in the trash right then and there. I was looking at it, and I said, "Where's the copper in here?"
Yeah, what? You couldn't see it.
There's no copper in there.
And yeah, number one is, to me, if you have these socks that are so tight and compressing, isn't that going to hurt when you're running, the blood flows?
Well, there's nothing to compression that I
Right.
know of that helps anything. I mean, they sell things for compression. You can see the football players walk around with these things. The physical therapists like it. There is no science to it that I can see. Take care of the problem. You
Wait,
don't have to
hold
compress
it.
it. Why compress anything?
I got it right here, Doc. This is work guaranteed. It's compression massage wrap for the ankles, the shin, and the thigh. You put this wrap on you, and you press a button again, and it goes real tight, and you wear it for an hour. And it's supposed to get rid of your ankle pain and your thigh pain.
It doesn't. All it does is hurts the muscle structure because it can't stand that compression. That's why you only use it for an hour.
Well, Doc,
Otherwise-
I got one for you now. Another one.
Go
It's
ahead.
called the Curve.
Oh, the curve.
I've seen the curve.
Put it around, you press a button, those little lights go like the way it did that lights, and it's supposed to get rid of your pain.
Does it?
No, because I
No.
think they're going to be off the air soon.
No, it can't.
The FDA.
It can't. First of all, you don't know where the pain is.
That's
You
right.
just stick that on you. Plus, it's only an infrared light, which only goes to the skin. It
Right.
warms your skin. That's all it does.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get you on one of these.
So-
It's called.
I called them up, and it's $650 for that. And I read it said infrared light. I said, "Oh my God!" And
Most of the things I'm getting out of here is from Sharper Image. the company that went bankrupt, and now they went back to the catalog business. Okay.
I could buy you a red light bulb.
Yeah, you could do exactly. It'll do the same thing. Ready for this one, Doc? A shoulder massage for headaches. You put it on the shoulder, goes around the shoulder all the way to the back, and hooks up, and you press it, and you have little bleeps of.
yeah, well, they're selling a lot of that.
Yeah.
Who's that basketball player that's pushing that thing? You just stick it on your body, and it gives you the
Okay.
It doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
Muscle pain does not happen. And that's what's being stimulated. Muscles do the contraction, nothing else. But
Yeah.
all the pain's coming from the ligament structure. So obviously it can't work. Scientific basis, it cannot work. and
Because
does
you're
not.
not going to what caused the pain.
Right.
Okay. So wait, Doc, I think I have one. I think I got one, Freddie. This could be the one that the doc's going to like. I feel it in my bones, Freddie. Ready for this one, Doc? They have now sunglasses.
What?
Sunglasses with a very special blue tint on it. And what it does is when you feel a migraine coming on, you put the glasses on.
Okay, well, migraine doesn't come from that. It does not come from the brain. It comes from the neck. Can't work.
Can't work. Okay. Damn, I thought I had that one. Okay. Hold on, Doc. I got some more. Hold on.
Sunglasses. That's the silliest thing I've ever heard.
They're selling them for $49.95. You buy one pair, you get the second one for free and no
But,
shipping.
but you know that one's ridiculous. The
Just-
copper's better than the sunglasses.
Look.
At least copper, you can melt it and make
Yeah,
a
you know,
bracelet.
you're
or
true.
There's no copper in there.
something.
Okay. Now they have this new thing. It's like a turban that the women wear, and it goes around your head, and it's got little light things, and you press it, and you control the amount of stimulation. And guess what that's for? Migraines. We give a Gio got that migraines, and that's going to get rid of your migraine, and that's $119.95, shipping free if you're dumb enough to buy it. Okay, doesn't work.
No.
Okay.
Can't work because they don't know where the migraine's from. You see, the headache is a symptom. You have to know what produces that symptom. So don't get treated for headache. You have to get treated for what produces the headache.
Okay, I got another one. This,
If I can get that thought through people,
that's what what I'm trying to do is they're selling
they
millions of
take-
dollars worth of this stuff.
They take expensive shots for headache,
Right.
which don't work because they're not treating the source. You know your best drug for headache?
I got it.
What?
Aspirin.
Aspirin. That's right.
Okay, you ready?
Why? It's an anti-inflammatory, the only one out there.
Now, aspirin is going the other route instead of doing what you said. The route now is for people that have had heart problems.
Well, yeah, it dilutes the blood. It makes it thinner a little bit.
Okay, you ready for this one?
Yes.
They now have a hand exerciser.
Hand exercise.
Yep, it goes on. Yeah, you see that one? It goes from your tips of your fingers up here, up to your elbow. And if you do this every day, 15 minutes each on where you have the pain, it will get rid of your elbow pain for good. They don't guarantee it. And on the bottom, in real small letters, it says, "We do not guarantee this for every patient."
Well,
for
of
every
course
person.
not. They can't guarantee that.
Okay.
First of all, they'd have not made a diagnosis, so they're going to have failure.
Ready
They
for
have
this
to
one?
have failure because they don't know what they're treating.
Now, this was in a magazine that was doing something which is your favorite thing. Ready for this one? Massage therapy by a masseuse or masseuse. A man is called a masseuse, and a woman's called a masseuse.
Massagers is what I call
okay. So, what do you think about that with people that come in with pain? To me, I don't go to
massage.
those. Yeah, because I don't believe in that stuff.
These people are overselling their profession.
Yeah,
they're
they're
not out there to treat pain. They're out there to give you a massage.
Right.
And it's for stiff muscles.
Right.
And it's all they do. But the pain is never from muscles. It's always from ligament.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you're not getting the right treatment at all to begin with.
Can't that hurt you?
Well, the hurt comes when you don't get it taken care of.
Okay.
And then it gets worse and worse.
And now, what do you think number one on the list is? Let's see who can guess what the number one thing is. Come on,
I have no idea.
Gio. What's the number one thing that people are given that they think can help their spouse? No, you don't know. Freddie?
I have no idea.
Doc? Chiropractic sessions.
That's what I was going to say.
A lot of people now are given to their spouses to go to a chiropractor for pains in their arms and legs, and who are sports people. What they did was they showed a lot of people play. Lacrosse has become a very big thing down in South Florida. Is that lacrosse where you have the ball, you throw it into it? Yeah, lacrosse. It's become very big. And a lot of the people that are playing it are older people, and they're always hurting. And the wife said, I found this guy in one of my flyers. It's $49 for the first session. Why don't you go see him? Chiropractor. Now, I am trying to figure out.
really don't have the answer to all those things. You can go and they can try whatever they do, but they should refer to
Right.
non-surgeons for the rest of the treatment. Those are not going to do any good. What about if you have a pain in the shoulder? You know where shoulder pain comes from? It's a ligament. That's all it is. It's inside.
So when someone
And
comes,
you have to know how to examine for it, which they did not taught that. The way we do it, we developed that from the anatomy, from basically what the basic anatomy is and the function of that, the physiology. So the exam we have is we've developed it ourselves, and it's 100% effective. I mean, it's absolutely the best you can get. Why do I say that? Because your pain leaves the same day you're there. You
Now-
get the range of motion back.
that's the point that I want to bring out to all new listeners and all new viewers. You cannot leave his office unless the pain you came in with is gone. And it'll get better the next morning, and you'll never get that pain again unless you
Now,
injure it.
For instance, if you go to a chiropractor, they do what they can do, but it's usually a stimulator.
Now, we're not knocking chiropractors, we're just letting them
Okay.
know what they do.
Well, I'm going to go through all of them.
Good, perfect.
And they put the stimulator on you, and the muscles go pop, 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 pop. Nothing happens there.
Right.
You go to a physical therapist, they have you do exercises, walk the wall, this and that. That doesn't help.
No, it
You know
doesn't.
why? Because shoulder pain is so bad, it only gets worse. You got to take care of it right away. I mean, right away. Who else is out there? An orthopedic surgeon is going to operate, give you a new shoulder, which you
Right.
don't need most of
Right.
the time. And that's about it. I think that covers it. So what we did, we developed a method of finding out which part of the shoulder is actually causing the problem. And we put a steroid in there, and it goes right out.
Explain to,
It's an anti-inflammatory.
right. So it has nothing to do with an enhancement of a sport, so you don't have to
does
worry
not-
about
does
that.
Not put on, does not put on protein.
It's FDA approved.
Oh yeah,
Okay, so everything, there's no downside.
no
It
downside
can't hurt you. Look,
to anything we do. Actually,
if you're taking any kind of medications, you know certain drugs are going to really mess you up, especially if you have heart problems. This has nothing to do with any meds or anything. It goes right to the source of the pain. That's why I want people to understand.
yeah, you have to be able to diagnose the source of the pain.
Right.
MRI is not going to tell you that. So
No.
don't get MRIs for knees or shoulders or anything. actually.
Explain that. I remember we have a lot of new people, Doc. I know you've explained this before, but there's a lot of new people listening to you.
Yeah.
What is the downside of an MRI when they bring it into you? Okay, I have a pain in my left shoulder.
Well, I'll give you
Here's
a
my
good,
MRI.
I'll give you a good example. Somebody
Okay.
brings for a low back pain. They bring an MRI and they read everything, L12, L23, L34, all the way down, and they're all read about the same. None of that level at the end paragraph. Who is ever reading that does not tell you where that pain's from. Why does he not able to tell you that? He never talks to the patient, never examines the patient. He just reads film. Okay, perfect example. A guy brought his MRI in, and I read it over. I said, well, this doesn't tell me anything. So I took a picture of the special films we do, and he had a curvature like that.
Wow. Freddy, did you
And-
see how he showed the curvature?
And so we
Yes, I
said,
saw how you did the curvature.
Did the audience see
So-
it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
so it was it was scoliosis. The pain was from scoliosis. That never occurred to whoever read that. But we looked for that kind of thing.
But why do chiropractors? I hate to go back with
Chiropractors,
Why do they say that they could cure scoliosis? But that's a
they
lie.
cannot. They cannot cure scoliosis.
So if someone goes to one of those, that
They're
means
wasting their time and money. Same with physical therapy.
right.
Now that's why there's so much surgery being done for scoliosis, because those people failed. I mean, common sense here. If the chiropractic was that good, physical therapy was that good, there would be no surgery being done, or very little.
That means
But
there would be
now
a lot of
there's
hospitals out of
surgery.
business, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. You got to think seriously about this, and a lot of it's just common sense,
Well, the one thing I've learned with you, because getting to know you, I've sat in the office a lot of times, watching what's going on, and the first words out of your mouth after they fill out all the information, it says, where is that pain? what was the cause of that pain. You did this to me, and I couldn't answer you. And then you said, and I remembered what I did. I mean, you asked me so many freaking questions. I said, Doc, you know me for years. You found out that when I bent down.
Well, you have to be able to know how you get it.
Right.
Something like that. It's usually from a fall. Usually in older people.
I got a different question for you.
Go ahead.
You're about to do a reality show, and I was told by I was told by your producers that we should let people know that you're going to be doing this if they want to come in and be on film, because it's part of what you're going to be doing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you like to show on film?
Well, we'd like to first of all get the opinion of the complainant, the patient, why they're there, and what they've been through. You're not going to see how we examine people or how we treat that, but you can also talk to them after the treatment. And now you're only talking about 2 to 5 minutes, and they will say that pain's gone. Now, how can I be sure of that? Because that's our method. We've been doing this for years, and everybody. One thing we try to tell people is go ahead and try to make your pain come back before you leave here, right after the treatment, and they cannot.
I think that the amazing thing about all of this is that people have been going to doctors for many centuries, and they've always been approached in the same method.
Right.
Maybe the change has come about because of necessity, polio and things of that nature. But I think that in the everyday case like yours, a lot of doctors are still hanging on to old procedures when there's new stuff out there like you that could be done. So we're doing a call out here. If you want to come and see Dr. Pannozzo, why don't you give out his number, Les?
The doc's number, personal number?
Yeah.
It's 561-381-5800, and please make sure you call them after.
Give the number for this show so we can get some questions.
Sure, Doc, why not? The number is 800.
I don't know why not.
889-0267. Well, I got a whole bunch of questions. You want me to do
Yes.
that?
Well,
Do the
I want
questions.
people to call in and also to come in and be part of this thing, because what we like to put out there is to show how medicine today has changed.
But by the way, we were talking about the migraine. We have had no failures.
No,
at
you're
all.
right. I know that.
In the 6 months we've been doing that, and people come in. Also, the vertigo. We're doing extremely well with the vertigo. Also, it's 100% effective.
Could you imagine having
Forget
vertigo?
about the ENT guys, the ear guys. They don't have it.
No, it's those little crystals in your ear
The
that fix it,
crystals,
Doc.
that's baloney.
Yeah.
I think.
I asked him if it's a magic crystal that could get me high.
And some patients don't appreciate the fact that I'm opinionated.
No, you think?
But I am an expert.
Yes, I've heard many patients complain about that.
Yes, we've heard people say, you know what? And I said, did he cure you? He said, yeah, but that's. I said, did he cure you? He said, yeah. Who cares?
Well, that's not the point.
First of all, he doesn't want to be your friend anyhow.
He threw the MRI at me.
Well, how'd you feel afterwards?
It hurt when the MRI hit.
It's all
Other
in
than
good
that, I'm
fun.
good.
Everything's in good fun.
Okay, Eric from New York City. Thank you, Eric. I watched your show on Manhattan Cable. Thank you again. I told you I should not give out his number that fast. Okay,
That's
Doc.
okay. Just tell him you're going to call and call after the show.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
call
It's a
you.
live
We'll
show.
call you after the show.
Hang around the phone. We'll call you.
We'll call you. We
Call you
promise.
after the show, we promise.
Okay, Eric from New York City writes, I watched your show on Manhattan Cable and I had to go to your website to see if this show is real. I have never seen the show before and I wanted to ask if any pain treatment can be fixed with your procedure. Can you explain how in one visit you find where the pain is located and then with one shot it goes away? Do you use Novocaine or painkiller? That's a New Yorker. I mean, you can tell a New Yorker when they call and give you a question. Thanks, Eric.
That's also a new listener.
Yeah, it's a new listener. Thanks, Eric. Doc is going to answer that. Okay.
What was the question?
I'm sorry, Doc. Maybe I.
You use Novocaine or any kind of painkillers?
But that was the second question.
Okay, wait, no, wait again. Eric from New York City.
Read the next question because this question here doesn't have any meaning.
Okay, Doc, whatever you say. Okay, Lisa M. from New York City writes, I am 6 months pregnant and have terrible pain in my hip. It's gotten so bad that going to school and working is becoming really, really, really hard. I am planning a trip to Florida in about 2 weeks for vacation. I wanted to know if being pregnant will prevent me from using your procedure. Since you are an MD, I think it's safe that your answer would be the right one and want to go see you. Do I have to wait till after my birth.
Okay, see, this is a real question.
Mhm.
She's got a real symptom. The other
Right.
guy didn't. He's just fishing.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, you don't have to wait.
Right.
You just come in and we take care of it. No downside to it at all.
So Lisa, basically what the doctor is saying there, so it doesn't affect anything with the
I
pregnancy.
mean, you got to have sympathy or empathy for these
Yes.
pregnant ladies. They're walking around like this and they're hurting.
You know, it's funny, Doc, what you say. A lot of pregnant women. I remember when my wife was pregnant with my daughter, our daughter, I should say. But my wife has always pain. In case my wife is listening, honey, you did all the hard work. I think a lot of these women get a lot of bad pains in their back, and they don't have to suffer for 9 months.
They
from
do
this.
not have to suffer with that. No.
And just to let you know, there's nothing that could hurt
There's
your
nothing
child
that
at all.
hurts the baby either. I mean,
Right.
so you know, there's no downside to it. Don't suffer unless you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, don't do it.
But
Just
some women like that natural pain.
No, I don't know any woman that want that. Jess, you wouldn't want that, right? No, okay.
now after 3 months of pregnancy, the baby cannot be hurt by an X-ray.
Oh, I didn't know
Not
that.
the kind we do, which
Right.
is
Oh,
a
that's-
very small
right.
amount. We do just one picture. So you take that off the thing too.
So, Lisa, let me give you the doctor's number if you're coming down. He will answer the phone and talk to you directly. It's 561-381-5800. And you can give him a call after the show, which is around 1 o'clock, and I'll be more than happy to set up an appointment for you. Okay, Jackie from New York City. Wow, New York people are really hitting us, Doc. Jackie from New York
The
City.
number from the New York area would really went
Yeah,
up.
well, you've become a. They're gonna make a statue for you at Ohio State University. You and Woody Hayes. You can sit right next to Woody Hayes. Jackie from New York City writes, "I've been scheduled to have hip surgery in 2 weeks, and I've been told to have one hip done one at a time. My lower back pain and pain in my legs is the reason I'm having the surgery. I've heard you say that surgery can bring more problems than the cure alone. I need both hips repaired and want to ask if what this procedure would do to both my hips. I would need to spend time in Florida to get it done, but I'm sure the amount of time healing would be a lot
Well,
less than
listen,
sitting in a hospital
you
bed."
need a diagnosis because if you're going to be operated for pain on both hips, you got to look at the back. The back produces pain into the hip
Right.
area, so you have to be careful when you do that.
Well, let me just tell Jackie something. I know 3 people that before I started working with Dr. Anthony Pannozzo had to go in twice for a hip operation. So my question is, once they fix the hip one time, why they have to go back again and fix it again? And one of the people said, "I'm gonna send you to another doctor." So the orthopedic surgeon that did this other, I know this is a fact, doesn't want to go to the other doctor. Won't do
Well,
it
it's
either.
scar tissue. That's all there is. There's nothing to operate. Once you take a hip out and put a replacement in
Right.
there, it's titanium
Mhm.
mostly. And how can that hurt? It doesn't.
Well-
The pain actually from a joint comes from the ligament structure around it. Remember we described about the knee already.
Right.
Well, that happens around the hip also. So the hip inside the hip joint does not hurt.
Right.
There's no pain fibers in there. It's all on the outside. So
It's amazing. Isn't
I always tell people, don't get operated for pain. Pain is easily treated. You don't have to get operated for pain.
Well,
You get operated for destruction. You get operated for fracture,
Right.
things like that.
like a broken bone.
Yeah, and not for pain. You know.
I had somebody stay over the weekend, a visitor from Tampa, Linda's family. She had both knees replaced a few years ago. And the knees are fine. But now all of a sudden the hips, she has to get them replaced. I didn't know that there's certain things happen when you have your knees replaced to your hips. Did you know that?
It's an abnormal gait,
Abnormal gait.
and
she walks
and she would
abnormally
have
sideways.
had she could have had hip problems before the surgery of the knee. Remember, the knee is secondary to a hip. The hip places the knee to
Right.
function. Now, if it places it wrong, what happens to the function of the knee? It's abnormal, which means a pain.
Right.
So you have to think of the sequence of events and get it diagnosed properly. Orthopedic surgery is not going to go through the trouble of diagnosing a hip. They see that knee, it can be replaced, so they do it.
They should have done the
Now,
hips before
who's
the knee.
supposed to control that?
She is.
American
The
Medical Association.
patient's got to control this stuff. Don't just
She does, yeah.
you know. If your doctor can't treat your pain of your knee or hip, go to another one. And if that one doesn't do it, come to see me. I'll do it.
But they should have worked on her hips before her knee.
Well, they don't even examine for it.
They
See?
didn't.
No,
And
they
now
don't.
she's having problems walking.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something. If anyone here who's listening to this says, this can't be true, go to the Journal of American Medical Association. You go online.
The where?
Journal of American Medical Association, JAMA.
JAMA?
JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association, and look at the statistics of how many people had knee surgery in this country alone that didn't need them. It's up to like 156,000 a
But
year.
I always wonder, how do they know they didn't need them?
You know, I don't. You know, I figure
You know,
can't-
you see something like that. You
Yeah.
say, are they out of their minds? How can anybody write something like that?
Well,
How
that's
do they
Journal of
know?
American Medical. They're
How
kind
do
of.
they know they weren't needed? Answer that question.
Oh, I can't.
Well, then you shouldn't bring the article up.
Well, I bring it up because it's I see. There's a guy that you got to trust. It figures out if it's in the journal.
I'm sure the figure is right. But
Yeah.
how do they get it? My question
Doc,
is
they guess.
academic. How
They
do they
guess.
get that figure?
They guess. They pick a
guess.
number out of there and say, we shouldn't have done this.
I don't know.
Why did we do this? Anybody?
No,
We're
Understand?
drinking.
Look, you cannot kill the messenger.
Yes, we can.
No, you can't kill the
Okay,
messenger.
read the next question.
I don't
then.
know if I want to read it now, Doc. You got me upset right now. I'm really sad. I don't. Jess, should I read the next question? Okay, Jess said yes. I'm going to go read it. Okay. Next question. Boy, you guys are really on my back today. Look, I'll get even tomorrow. Don't worry, Freddy. Larry from New York City writes, I watched your show twice.
Two guys from Brooklyn. Boy, that's
Yeah.
got to be a riot.
Oh, it is. Now we got 4 girls with us. That's what
We don't even know who's going to be on the show.
We know. We go into the show, Doc, and the only thing that we're sure of is you. We talk about you. Other than that, we don't know what we're doing. And people kind of like that. Larry from New York City writes, I watched your show twice. I went to the website to see if what I was hearing was true. I called my parents, who are retired in Boca Raton, and asked if they knew who you were. They quickly answered that they heard of you, but they had never gone to see you. They have since watched and heard your show, and now I'm ready to visit them because I have suffered from migraine headaches that do not stop. The 3 of us have issues with different things, foot pain, migraines. With visiting your website, we want to know, how long have you been doing this, and have you ever had a case of migraines that did not go away? Great question, Larry.
There is no headache, no migraine that did not go away
Right. Forever.
forever.
And
They-
he wants
they
to know
don't
how long.
come back.
And he also wants to know how long you've been in practice.
53 years.
Okay, 53 years. Okay, Larry, if it would make you feel any better, since I'm just a moderator here, I personally have brought in 3 people who suffered from severe migraines and vertigo, and I think it was maybe 2 shots, Doc.
They're all
And
taken care of.
they were taken care of. In fact, it was one person said it was the first time in her life she hasn't had pain. And one of these people I brought in is in a car all the time.
And you know it almost instantaneously. I
You
mean,
kn-
before you leave that office, that migraine is gone.
But you know what's so hard to believe? Look,
It's hard to believe. but
because
it's
I've
true.
seen it. Okay, forget me. Here's what I tell you: if you have a migraine headache, do not hesitate to call this man, because you will walk out of that
It
office.
is the most fabulous thing I've ever done in my life.
Now-
I mean, it is so good.
Well, you
I mean,
diagnosed the. You actually went. I want you to
Yep.
explain to people how you came across this. I mean, that's
Well,
important.
it's,
They're questioning it.
It was a research project,
Right.
and we also went to the anatomy lab and dissected bodies and make sure it was safe. And
Mm-hmm.
it's, everything's there, no downside to it whatsoever.
And what people don't understand is, the headache is not caused from your head. It's caused from your.
Neck.
Okay, he knew that answer. Nice going. Go for the doctor.
Of course he knows that answer. He's been telling us for 2 years.
And guess what else, Freddie? I don't know if you knew this, but concussions aren't caused by getting hit in the head. It's that thing when the shoulders.
No, it's all from the neck. Yeah, you can't hurt the brain.
I mean, could you imagine if you knew him when you were coaching? You wouldn't be doing this thing you're doing.
Well,
now.
it's really funny because the NFL now is looking at the neck
Yes.
area for
They're looking for-
concussions, and they don't
All
know
the
how
things
to,
we predicted, we were talking
Are
about,
happening.
they're eventually doing it. Also, remember we talked about narcotics, you don't need them.
That's
The
right.
federal government has reduced the ability to prescribe for pain.
Because
So they've been right. We're always right on this stuff.
yeah,
right?
I mean, and to me, I mean, I've had headaches before in my life. I haven't had a headache in probably 25 years. But when I did have headaches, the first thing I would do is I'd take 2 aspirin, and eventually it would go away. But I've seen people suffer from migraines, and I mean the ones that have to go into that dark room and have their head in the bathroom.
All of that is baloney.
Yeah.
All of it.
And you do not get it from eating liver. You do
Or
not get it from
MSG
eating
or
chocolate.
anything else.
And you do not get any. The only thing you get from eating
What
chocolate
about
and wine.
the guy who had headaches from the heat,
Son.
being in the sun? That's also baloney. Headache comes from the neck. There's a particular place that does it for migraine and other areas for other types of headache you get. Cluster headache does not exist. It's just when you get 3 headaches in 1 week.
Oh,
They
that's
call
what
that
I
a
said. I didn't know what a
cluster.
cluster headache was.
I mean, it's just has no common sense.
I'll tell you something very funny. I never knew what a cluster headache was. My father had it. He passed away not from cluster headaches. He was mean. And you know what the
Best way from meanness.
and know what the doctor. You know what the doctor told him to do? You ready for this? Keep ice around, and when you feel it coming on, put the ice in the sink. Get it real cold and throw it right in your face. Keep throwing it until the headache goes away.
Keep throwing what? The ice?
No, the water. I mean, let the ice dissolve, and I said the only thing it did to my father-in-law was it got his shirt wet.
You
Well-
could have put your face in the sink, too.
Headache's about 3 inches
Good idea. I never
underneath,
thought
so I don't know how you can get ice water to even penetrate there. You can't. I mean, that whole thing is just,
He wants him to freeze his head.
yeah, well.
That's all.
Probably look
We did
better.
that in football. It was a whirlpool.
Oh, is that
We
right?
put bags of ice in it.
Yeah, well,
You sat in it for 2 minutes. Everything froze. Everything. Ears, everything. You came out. The pain went because you couldn't walk. You couldn't feel nothing.
no, they do. I mean, you see a lot of them afterwards, like the quarterback.
They still do that.
Yeah,
They still do
they're
that.
sitting in
I
this-
mean, it's so bizarre
How the hell
and
do you
so 18th century.
But how do you get into that thing? I don't know if I.
Well, because it's the doctors.
No,
that
I mean
promote that.
just getting used to it. I don't think I could go into like. It's
No,
like,
you
you
can't.
can't.
No.
Really?
Yeah, you jump in there and then, you say, holy smokes, and then
You know, what we propose is so sophisticated. It's
Yeah.
so unbelievably good that you can't believe it even happens.
And I'm
But
going
it
to tell
does.
you right
It's
now.
true.
Let's say your stupid insurance company, who you pick with a $5,000 deductible, doesn't have them listed. Let me tell you this right now. He will get rid of a migraine headache for less money than taking your family out, a family of 4, to go for a steak dinner at a fancy
Listen,
restaurant. Come on.
What's going on is the Obamacare sanctioned this.
Oh, God.
So what happens is the insurance companies gradually reduce the number of doctors in their plan, so that it essentially does what? What do you think it does? It limits your ability to get medical care. So that's the way they save money.
Yeah.
See, this is from the federal government. This is from Obamacare. This is what's so nasty about that.
And we're going to have a whole chapter on a reality show. It's true.
Well, I heard
believe
that
it.
the pain management or pain care just changed in April under Obamacare. They're bundling it now. So you're right. Half of the treatments that were put out there so that you can get pain relief is no longer going to be covered.
No, and you have to go.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, you're right.
You have to go to certain offices in the country
That's right.
to get it okayed if you want to do something.
That's right.
Now, there is nobody in those offices
That
that
knows.
know enough about it.
That's right.
So
And-
what their purpose then?
And you,
Purpose then is to reduce expenditures. They'll say yes or no. Usually it's no, and so you're stuck. This is
No, it's true.
you know, this is so bad because they're treating human beings like they're dogs.
No, you're right. No, dogs get treated better.
Dogs get treated better
Well, I'll tell you something.
because there's no federal law for dogs. See,
Well, I'll tell you something. Like you said, is so true. This one lady that you met had had an insurance policy where her deductible was so high, so she was told something that she had to get a blood work done. So the places that did the blood work was right where she was. She had to go into Miami to get it done by one of
no,
their
that was a
people.
patient of mine. Yeah, from Delray.
Yeah,
They had to go way south of Miami to the lab that was approved.
and we're talking about older people.
That's only meant to reduce the expenditures of the insurance company.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. So if you don't want to make that trip, they save that money.
Yeah,
It is cruel and inhuman what they're doing to people.
well, the girl that I brought in, she said, you know what? I'm just going to pay it by credit card. Well, guess what? She's working out now. She's got great legs because all she was able to do was work out with her legs.
Yeah. So what do we always say about insurance companies? Never let them tell you how to take care of your
Right.
health. They're only to pay the money out. They're not to tell you what to do. which is what they're doing.
Never let an
They're
insurance
practicing
company.
medicine.
You
Is
should
what they're
take
doing.
two things in your life that you should be the only one that has this to say yay and nay: health and your finances.
That's right.
You're the only one.
You can lose them both.
Yes, you can. And your health you lose faster.
Yeah.
Next question. Okay, Doc, I'm sorry. Please don't get mad at me. Okay. Sarah from Atlanta writes, hey, how can I remove the pain in my shoulder that I hurt during a skiing trip about 2 years ago? My right shoulder was dislocated while I was on the slope, and it still feels like there are stones in my shoulder. What would it take to get...
Stones?
Yeah,
That's what it feels like.
What would it take to get the pain out, and is the solution that you do, will it stop? Oh, no, I'm sorry. What would it take to get the pain out, and is this a solution, something I will not stop working?
Yeah, well, if you come to my office, we take the pain out. You still work.
Yeah.
No, she wonders, I think, is it going to stop working in the future? In other words,
No. Once you get the range of motion back, it stays.
I mean, you're 90 minutes away. Spirit Airlines round trip is $150. I got news for you. You're gonna feel great. That's all I can say.
$50. That's not
Yeah,
bad.
Spirit's the airline where the people bring on live chickens. Okay, my
Don't
bring
bring
on
the
live
chicken in
chicken?
my office.
yeah,
I
go to
don't-
Santeria. They just do that, bring it back home.
What are you talking about, Santeria? What's the matter with you?
I'm feeling better now. I was a little down when I came here. I saw your face and I really got upset.
What the hell's he
Freddy.
talking about?
Oh boy, am I going to get him tomorrow?
What time?
Okay.
What
What's he talking about?
I don't know.
How do we go from your medicine to his Santeria?
what is that?
I don't know. I think he needs a shot in the head. I think.
She understands it.
Yeah, I know you would get it because you're nuts.
Mike from Atlanta writes, I tried to find someone else that does what you say you can do. Oh, I love this one. There is no one who can do this procedure. Are you the only doctor who does this type of cure? And why isn't the medical profession doing anything?
What is the problem?
He says he probably can't believe that you're the only one that can do it. He can't
the
find
only
anybody.
one, and he wants to know, how do the insurance companies treat your
Well,
procedure?
does he have a
for pay-
problem?
Yeah, payment.
No. Is there a pain there? I mean,
Not
I
at
know-
all.
That's not a pain that he.
Okay, go to the next question.
We're going to write this one. Sorry,
Can you imagine if Dr. Pannozzo were to walk in to one of these new medical procedure places that says no to this and yes to that, and he walks in, they're gonna look at him and says, "What do I do with this? What do I do with this guy?"
It's funny because I would love more than anything, which would make my day, is if I could get an orthopedic surgeon on a radio to talk about him.
Okay, they won't do it. Next
I'm
question.
sorry, Doc. Doc, am I going too fast for you today? Okay, hold on a
Yes,
second.
you're going too slow.
Okay, I'm trying to, because I only have two more questions. I got to make the time worthwhile here, buddy. Jolly or Joey from Atlanta writes, I've heard
Which
your
is
show.
it, Jolly or Joey?
Well,
Joey.
J-O-L-O-L,
It's Joey. Oh, okay.
Joey.
Joey.
I'm the one that has the paper here, and they tell me how to read it. Joey from
From
Atlanta.
Atlanta.
I've heard your show a few times on the radio and never, ever get the phone number to call into the show. Okay, Joey. 800-889-0267.
You got to say that every 5 minutes.
Even Joey's a producer now. He wants you to say
Everybody's
no.
going to tell me what to do. 800-889-0267. Okay, I've heard your show. Okay, we did that. Okay. I wanted to ask if my son, who's only 14 and has a huge hump on the right side of his back and doesn't play sports or go to the pools or even wants to have friends because of how he looks, I want to know how long such a lump will take to remove or reduce to the degree that at least he wants to go outside. His cure will change his life.
Yes, absolutely it will. And that happens right away. On a 14-year-old, the ligament structures are pliable. We can work with them, and that hump will go down the same day he comes in that office, and I guarantee it. Hold me to it.
Guarantee it.
Guarantee it, yes.
Now, I'll
Because
show
we
you.
know what causes a scoliosis. I did research on this. And probably the only one in the world who did it.
And you
Everybody
can go,
else does surgery. I do treatment. See, I'm not a surgeon, so
but
therefore,
the treatment it's also
if
a
I
cure.
want- it's a cure. And what I need to do is done without surgery. So I have to be good at this. So you have to be able to diagnose the source and then provide a treatment for that source. And we could do that for you. So bring this kid in. He's got to come in.
Joe, I'm going to give you two numbers, Joey. If you want to call the doctor up right now, you can call him at 800-889-0267. Or if you're watching TV and you get it, you can call him directly at 381-5800.
Can you imagine what goes on to this 14-year-old's brain? You know, he has such a future. That means politically he can't do anything. He can't be a speaker. He's not going to run for office. He's not going to be in sports.
He doesn't even want to go out to the pool.
His life is changing because of this physical thing.
That's right.
It's affecting his mental attitude. So we can change all that. Bring him in, please.
Without a cage. Without medication.
Oh, no,
The
no
cage-
surgery, nothing like
No,
that.
okay.
No, nothing to take by mouth.
To me, Joey.
And somebody's going to say, "How is that possible?"
Well, I
My
think
doctor
this
says
could be
it's not
Joey
possible.
calling right now. I saw her pick up the phone, so let me make sure before.
You know,
I go to
it's really strange because what you're trying to tell parents is to explain to their kids, this gives you a shot. It gives you a shot of
You
being
can't
normal.
trust your family doctor, or we'll call you back 699 number. You can't trust your family doctor to give you the right scoop on this unless they call me. I'm the one who did the research on it, and what they learned in school is just not true.
Right.
It's just not going to help this person at all.
Joey, I mean, we
I
don't
mean, I
care.
saw a 16-year-old girl with screws up in this area. I mean, she is miserable for the rest of her life. Do you understand that?
Yeah,
You
because
don't
you
want
can't
that.
move.
So I tell people to get them out. We can straighten the spine out.
Joey,
without that.
if you have any apprehensions, why don't you ask your family doctor to call Dr. Pannozzo? Will be more than happy to explain what he does.
He can come in with the
Yes, he
patient.
can even come in.
I
We
don't
don't
care.
care.
Anybody can watch this.
Yeah.
It's a good procedure. Anybody.
You know, it's funny when I go to eat dinner in Delray or Boca or up here, and you see all these people in wheelchairs, and I ask them, you know, what's the problem on my hip? It's normally the hip or the knees or the ankles.
Yeah.
It's the 99% question. And they're in wheelchairs or they're being pushed around because it hurts to walk.
Right.
Are you under the care of a physician? Oh yeah, they're doing the best they can. But that isn't the best they can.
They have to be a little more critical. If you go to a doctor once or twice and they don't reduce your pain, that's the wrong one to go to.
Right, you gotta find another.
I mean,
doctor.
my office is under those same rules. If you come to me once or twice and the pain is still there, or worse than it was, you're in the wrong office.
Right.
But don't call me up and tell me their pain's worse. I have to see it to be worse.
Right. Oh, here's a good one, Doc. Taylor from Atlanta writes, I am on my feet 9 hours a day working for the United States Post Office, and my legs and knees hurt so much I can't take it. They sent me to a chiropractor who says my circulation is poor, and I need 22. I can't believe this. 22 treatments to reduce the pain and the blood flowing in. I don't understand that answer. Can that help me?
It's in the insurance. They'll pay for 22 treatments. That's
Wow.
why. But that's the wrong person to go to. They're not going to help you.
How can they? I'm trying to understand. They don't
They
know what-
can't. They don't know where the source
That's
is.
what I'm trying to say. Folks, understand something. No matter who you go to, orthopedic, chiropractic, voodoo doctor, acupuncturist, if
Third
you
call.
if you don't know where the source,
696. I'll call you back.
he'll call you back. If you don't know where the source of that pain, how could I mean that's logical, right? If you don't know where the pain comes from, how could you treat it?
You can't.
I mean, think of it logically.
Well, this is what happens every day. They're looking in the wrong places and treating
Yeah.
in the wrong places, and the outcome is always the same. They're still in pain.
For instance, I'll give you a good example. You can go to the drugstore and buy a huge
Condoms.
number of things that you put on, like salve
Oh yeah.
on your back for
Balm.
back pain. Well, that pain, you know where it actually comes from? It comes from the inside of your back, not in the back, but on the middle,
Right.
right about here. I don't know if you can see this. Right about there, not back there,
Right.
where you put the stuff, but in here.
I can
Right.
see it.
And it's like 4 inches under the skin. How do you get all of that through all that muscle and tissue? You cannot. So it's a waste of time and money.
It's called Uma oil. I saw it on TV.
Uma.
Yeah, it comes from a Numa. I don't even know what a Numa is.
Emu.
Oh, emu. That's
Oh,
That's why you don't know what it is, because you're mispronouncing it.
emu. I thought that was some kind of
Yeah,
bird.
but stuff like Tiger Balm
Australia.
and Bengate, all that is
Yeah,
muscle
all
stuff.
of that. That's all
Oh,
the
there's
same.
another one.
Salon paws. All of those.
A rack of oil. I mean, yeah, 2 minutes. I can't understand how that stuff works. You're right. I mean, how did
It can work. And the drugstores are going to be mad at me now
Who
because
cares?
the sales, if the sales go down, I'm going to take the brunt of that. The guys who make it are going to be after me. I mean, everybody's after
You
me.
know what you should do? You should go to we should go to the drug chains and say Dr. Anthony Pannozzo will be here from 7 to 8 o'clock to get rid of all your pain. We'll bring the C-arm in and show them that we can, and they'll be happy.
You've been smoking something. I don't know what.
You're
We're not
smoking.
bringing a C-arm anywhere.
Hey, Doc, I got some, I got
I'm
some,
gonna bring in a $500,000 piece of equipment somewhere.
I was using that fictitiously.
Fictitiously.
No, we
Because
can't
if
do
you
that.
go to the pain,
You just have to use common sense. You have to know where the pain's from.
well, Shaquille
And
O'Neal is,
how do you get to it? Shakira, that thing that he's doing, that doesn't help it.
it's a,
It makes the muscles contract. Well,
Well,
that's not
folks-
where the pain is.
well, folks, I see by the clock on the wall, the Mickey Mouse hands are heading towards the number that we have to leave. Doc, again, it's always fun.
What time is it?
Time to go.
Time to go.
Time
Give him the number 561.
561 381 5800. 561 381 5800. He's ready to answer all your calls. Doc, again, great Sunday. Freddie, Gio, have a safe trip back. Be careful, and we'll see you when you get back. Thank you, folks.
See you next week.
This has been the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour with Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. If you spend 5 minutes with Dr. Pannozzo, you'll see he genuinely enjoys helping others. Visit Dr. Pannozzo online at www.paincentersnationwide.com or call him at 561-381-5800. Dr. Pannozzo will consult with you to determine the best solution to your pain needs. 561-381-5800 is the number to call, even if it's just for a second opinion. Join Dr. Pannozzo next week when he brings you more important information on the physics of weight-bearing and engineer concepts for the body.